Okay, so this is a reading for the divine masculine. Okay, so and let's just get straight into it because there's a lot to say. Okay, so you basically are going through an awakening right now. You've been in a deep sleep, a deep slumber. Okay, you've been very focused on your masculine energy, and I feel like, without like being negative, it's been to an extreme, to the point where I'm being called to say, like, you've sliced the limb off, like you've sliced your vulnerability, femininity. And when I say femininity, like, it doesn't have to be like physically, I just mean like feminine qualities, so like love, nurture, care, gentleness, like things like that. As men, or as masculine energies, I shouldn't keep saying men and women, because it's not, it's masculine energy and feminine energy, so however you identify. But you've been heavily in this masculine energy for far too long, and it's almost like you've sliced this other side of you off, and you've tried to act like this side of me doesn't exist, but it does exist. It does exist, and the more you push it away, the more it starts to fester and exist inside your body as energy, because everything is energy. And so but your whole life, basically, you have pushed that side of you away, and it's not your fault. It's been societally, if that's a word, that's what you've been taught to do. Men aren't allowed to cry, all that bullshit. So now you are slowly, very, very slowly, starting to awaken from your slumber. And you're starting to, there's things that are coming about, like things that are making you vulnerable, forcing you to be vulnerable, and you don't like it, okay? And it's scary. I wrote slumber, eclipse, awakening time, crossroads, manifestation. So yeah, you are at this crossroad right now where it's like you're leaving one old version of yourself behind. You're leaving the old life behind, and you're welcoming in, well, no, you're not welcome you're not welcoming it at the minute. I think you're probably trying to resist it a little bit. But you are at this crossroads, and inevitably this is going to happen whether you want it to happen or not, okay? So the more you resist, the worse it's going to be. You've got to allow yourself to be vulnerable, okay? A dream you created long ago is coming to fruition, is what I've written down. So a dream you created long ago is coming to fruition, and it's going to be explosive. I've written down explosive, and I've also written eclipse. Now there's an eclipse coming up in October, I think. So whenever you're watching this reading, it's timeless. It will find you whenever you need to hear this message. But if you're watching it in real time, there's an eclipse coming up in October. We're on the 24th of September today, 2022. So there is an eclipse, so that could be significant for people. But yeah, a dream you created long ago is coming to fruition, and I don't think it's a dream that you think it's going to be. I've wrote great balls of fire and explosive, but in a positive way. So this could be like the saying, every cloud has a silver lining or blessing in disguise. This could be, it could present as something that is not ideal, something that you would rather not happen, but ultimately this is going to turn out for the positive. And I've put change needed, and needed in big capital letters. So it's like I'm getting this vision of like a steam train, like speeding, and the steam's like coming off, and the wheels are going like like dead fast, and then suddenly the train derails because it's just going too fast, and it physically can't keep going at that pace anymore, and the train derails, and it derails, it crashes, crashes and burns I'm hearing, and I don't want, like, this isn't literally like you're not gonna crash. I just mean like your trajectory in life has been going this way, and you've been getting subtle messages and subtle information to say, like, you know, you need to detour, and you haven't been doing that. So there's going to be like a crescendo, shall we say, like something explosive that's going to happen, a tower moment basically, if you're into tarot. And again, don't feel this isn't a scary thing. This could be something as simple as your car breaking down, but whatever it is, as small or as big as it is, this specific thing that's about to happen or is going to happen soon is going to be the catalyst for you getting into this more positive phase and opening yourself up to this other side of life. Okay, and like I say, I've put needed in big capital letters. So this is for your highest good. This is what you need right now. Okay, then I've got cooks. I know, she knows, I'm not fond of asking. That could be a sign for someone specifically, but I think the message of that is, because it's I know, she knows, I'm not fond of asking. I'm getting like, I'm not fond of asking for help. So I feel like all throughout your life, you have been taught to deal with things on your own, to go along, to get along. You know, men don't cry and all this. You know, you've got to keep going. You can't be vulnerable. And you are not fond of asking for help. When I say she, it could be a significant person in your life who's feminine, but I feel she represents just the feminine energy as a whole, which is the body, Mother Earth, like that flow, that softer side of things. And that's in contrast to, I got when I was picking your cards, I got this Egyptian song come on. Now Egypt to me represents the higher mind, the third eye chakra, and obviously you've also got this high priest, intend and create. So if we think of the feminine as the earth and we think of the masculine as spirit, okay, or the masculine is like creation, the masculine is business, the masculine is technology, the masculine is science, and then feminine is nature, the seasons, the cycles, like just this more, and heart. Basically the feminine is the heart, the feminine is the softer, loving, more gentle side, and the masculine is the mind and the creation of things, and neither of which is more valuable. You need both, but you have been living in this masculine, in this mindset of like, I create everything through doing and through action and through forcing and making things be. And now you're at a point where you're now going to drop into this energy, this heart guardian energy, where you're gonna be forced to be vulnerable in some way. You're going to be forced to ask for help, basically. And like I say, this is going to be something that's strange to you, and you're not going to really want to do it. You don't want to be vulnerable. You just want to crack on. Like, you just want to get on and crack on and keep going at this plummeting speed, like the steam train, and you can't, it's not physically possible to continue that momentum for your whole life. Like, you've got to slow down, you've got to come into this hermit energy. So you are going to come into this energy where maybe I'm getting the vibe that like you might not be able to do the things that you previously did. So maybe that's physically, mentally, like maybe you were really good at just pushing through, say, you know, worries or stress or anxieties or fears. Maybe you were really good in the past at just pushing through that and just cracking on and leaning into your masculine energy, and you're not going to be able to do that anymore. Now things are going to really take the toll on you, and you're going to start feeling everything that you've suppressed for all these years, and it's not going to be easy. I'm letting you know that now. It's not going to be easy, but it's what you need, because you need the scales are like that. That's the masculine. sorry, should I say that? Yeah, that. So this is the masculine and this is the feminine, and you've completely, like I said at the beginning, you've sliced it off. You've tried to act like it doesn't exist, and it does exist. So now, because you've like had the balance like that for so long, now there's like a volcanic explosion of all these emotions, and everything that you suppressed for all of these years is now going to go, and it's going to be difficult to handle, okay? But ultimately, it's going to lead to you finding your inner voice, finding your inner guidance, and not, I feel like for, sorry, let me just check this is still recording because it keeps cutting out, okay? I feel like for pretty much your whole life, you haven't relied on your heart to guide you. You've relied on your logic, and you've not trusted your own inner voice because you haven't, that voice hasn't been there. That voice was completely drowned out. That voice was sliced off. And now this is the awakening of you starting to find your own inner wisdom, your own inner voice, your own inner guidance. So for example, say you were really, like, you've been really physically fit your whole life, and even on the days when you didn't want to get up and go and do it, you forced yourself to do it, and then maybe that led to injury because that's your body fighting back and saying, no, like, I'm too tired today, I don't want to go to the gym today, but you're still forcing for them gains. Like, I don't mean to be like patronizing or anything, but this is just the energy of where we're at the moment. And it's like, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. You can't silence that voice anymore that wants to just be that weak little boy inside of you that says, no, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to chill on the couch, I want to relax, I want to feel into something, and like, if I need to cry, I need to cry. And I know, like, there's I get the sense that people who are watching this are going to be laughing at that and cringing at that and being like, oh, you know, I don't cry or whatever. But it's like, crying, the actual act of crying, I watched this video the other day and I was like, oh my god, that's so true. The actual act of crying, we are born knowing how to do one thing, and it's to cry. As a species, that's like, we come out and we cry. We come out of our mum's bodies and we cry. Why do we cry? Because crying releases cortisol. Crying allows us to release the feeling that we're feeling. So can you imagine how much cortisol is stored up in your body if you don't let yourself cry? If you've never let yourself, or say like you stopped, like say you got to 9 and you were like, I don't cry anymore, and now you're 35. Can you imagine? So this is where this volcano is now like fireworks. And like I wrote before, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, like and it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you, this is not going to be easy to handle, because this is so alien to you. You're used to just being like cracking on, and you're really not going to be able to. You used to be able to distract yourself, and you can't distract yourself anymore. And then look at this, like, trader energy. It takes me back to like the Egyptian vibe, but it's like, trader then would have been a worker, would have been a hustler. Getting that song, I'm a hustler baby, I just want you to know, is it Pharrell Williams or something like that? Yeah, you're not going to be the hustler that you thought you were going to be anymore. You are now going to leave. And like, I don't want to sound horrible, because it's not like I'm not saying your business is going to fail or anything like that. I just mean it's a shift in your perception. It's a mindset shift. Air energy is a shift, and then there's air energy again with the bird. It's like, there's going to be a big shift because you have been resisting. Look, we've got inner voice twice. You've been resisting your inner wisdom and inner knowledge that your body holds. These energy, these codes, these light codes that exist within you as a someone who represents as masculine. There is stuff that you carry that the world needs, that you have been slicing off. We keep going back to that slicing off. Like we've got this summer, which is bask in your joy and light, and it's in a reverse. Again, you're going into the darkness now. So if you see the feminine energy as the darkness, the unknown, the void, and the masculine energy is the light, it's the doing, it's the being, it's the blah 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 blah. The feminine energy is the feels, and the masculine energy is the action and creation. And you've been in this action and creation and ignored your feelings for your whole life pretty much. So now there's a switch. Now you're going to get a lifetime's worth of emotions in a big explosion, shall we say. Just 1 minute. But this isn't a negative thing. I don't want to scare anyone. This is not a negative thing. This is going to happen fast, but it's going to lead to massive soul growth. Massive soul growth, and it's ultimately going to end in this 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is the happily ever after card. So all of the qualities that you have been missing, all of the, say you were like at the top of your game in whatever you were doing, right? Or like you were almost at the top of your game. These little things that it's like you can't get to the next level without you acknowledging this trauma and this pain that you're carrying with you. And because you've resisted it for all these years, it's just going to go, and it might be 6 months of, not the best time, or it could be 2 years, whatever it takes. But ultimately, it's going to lead to this 10 of Pentacles, and it's going to get you to your happily ever after. And then you're going to have a balance of both the masculine and the feminine, and you are going to have things to share as well, because ultimately you're in your masculine energy, so you know how to get things done, and you know how to create, and you know how to be a success, and so you can share that then with the world. But you can't start sharing that while it's in this toxic phase, because you haven't healed the feminine aspects of yourself. Yeah, we've got completion. We've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, and we've got the 10 of Pentacles upright. So emotional fulfillment and financial fulfillment, basically. Yeah, this is like, there's a double meaning to this. You've been completely neglecting your emotions, and you've been focusing on your finances, and like I say, it's completely out of balance. You've been trying to steam ahead, create, become, all of this, and resist who you are. And now it's like there's going to be 5 there, 5 there. Like eventually after this awakening, there's going to be a balance again, which is what you need. I'm getting the song by 𝕗𝕚𝕚, Slow Down, Let Me Love You. Okay, so just let yourself be vulnerable, let yourself be, it's like I can feel how much you're resisting it. I can feel it. It's like it's making me not want to say what I want to say, because I don't want you to receive it in a way where you're just going to go, oh, fuck that, turn this off, like it's stupid. But you've got to let yourself feel it. You can't. Like, look at all of the say people who are in the public eye now, men who are starting to talk out about mental health and like suicide, and like these two paths at the minute. It's like you either let it overcome you and swallow you up, and then you do go down that path where you have mental health issues, and like it leads to stuff like that, or you actually listen to what your body is telling you, and you listen to what this inner voice is telling you, and you follow your own wisdom, and you say, do you know what, enough's enough, things need to change. I need to stop being so reactive. I need to stop thinking that I can just control everything and be this like picture of masculine energy, because that is not realistic. And I need to lean into my more softer side a little bit, and be more vulnerable, and be more heart-centered. This as well, like the Sage card, be devoted and committed, it's in a reverse. So it's like, you're not going to be able to like in the past you've been able to be very solid, very, like, the foundations are strong. If you say you're going to show up somewhere, you're going to show up and you're going to do it. And now it's like, no, you're not going to be able to do that. Sometimes, like, I'm getting the like nature calls, like sometimes your body's not going to be able to get you where you want to go, or sometimes your mind or your emotions are not going to be reliable, and you're going to feel like shit on the morning of, oh, I needed to go there, and you're going to have to cancel. You're going to have to let yourself like surrender, because if you don't, it's going to be like an emergency. Like, this is a warning really, that you need to slow down and let this change happen, because it's needed. Look, needed. Is there anything else? You don't need to be who you think you need to be. You need to be who you really are. So let go of everything that you were taught until now, until this point. Let it go, because it's not you. I'll say it again. You don't need to be who you think you need to be. You need to be who you really are. So just ponder that. Even if all of this is too cheesy and too cringy and too for you, and you don't believe in all of this like woo woo, just write that saying down and just reflect on it. You don't need to be who you think you need to be. You need to be who you are. Okay, I hope that helps. I will be doing more of these readings. I'm hoping to do one every week. I'll probably try and get it posted of a Sunday or over the weekend, depending on when my day off is. So yeah, if you liked it, please give me a like, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe, and I'll try and link my other social medias and stuff down below as well. Okay, thank you for watching. Good luck.